All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Galaxy Bowl. So this is a Galaxy hopped double IPA that comes in at 7.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is exactly 2 weeks old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to Hop Butcher for this beer, so big thanks to them. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they sent my way, and this time around they sent me 12 beers in total, 6 of which were unique, and all of them I'm reviewing on my channel because I have had 0 of them. So this is the cream of the crop, so to speak, of the beer mail, because if you go to Untappd and you look at the most checked in beers from Hop Butcher, of the top 20, I have had 18 of them. So 2 have eluded me. This and they're done. So I get to cross this one off the list. Plus, I love Galaxy hops, although over the past couple years, a lot of folks, brewers and other folks that really like Galaxy have said the crops haven't been that great, which makes sense because I've had quite a few Galaxy beers over the last year or so that were stinkers. Like I was anticipating them being delicious and something just didn't do it for me, which was really weird because I do enjoy Galaxy. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. You got the Dan Jetsa art, as always. I'm not looking at the tasting notes in the back, that's what I'm covering up with my hand, but I love the Dan Jetsa artwork. But yeah, anyway, let's crack it open, get into the hashtag proper glassware, and go from there. Now, I will say, despite not looking at tasting notes, I'm hoping, with Galaxy, I usually get like crushed sweet pineapple, and I get like passion fruit. Those are like the 2 characteristics I get, usually like an herbaceous dankness, but not to the level of like a Simcoe or like a Mosaic or anything. So I'm gonna give it a pour here, and we'll see how this goes. So yeah, that's pouring out like the Hop Butcher juice that has been eluding me on my channel for a while. We get some drops here in the Buffalo, New York area, but they're not as substantial as I would like them to be. We get them like every 4 or 6 weeks, get a couple beers. So, it is what it is. But really nice of them to send another box my way. I think the last one they sent was late last spring. I think it was like in June. So yeah, that has shout out to Joe Senegali over at Joe's Arcade, friend of mine, fellow beer tuber. This is what he's talking about. I don't know how it's gonna look on camera, but in person, it has that, like, you took orange juice and you poured some milk into it, like that milky hop custard. Shout out to Chris, haven't said that in a while. That has that hop custard kind of look to it. It looks gnarly. Has about just over a 2 finger of a super, infinitely creamy, like off-white colored head. It's not going anywhere. And then if you turn it around, you got the hashtag proper glassware. Yes, you do. You got the Hop Butcher glass. You got the beer, and it looking real spiffy. Hold it up to the light. But yeah, it's opaque. You can't see through it. It looks gnarly. It really does look quite gnarly. Let's get a nose. Oh, yeah. So it's been a while, like a long while, since I've had a Hop Butcher beer this fresh. Right off the nose, there's going to be, dare I say, the green astringency / hop burn, right? I can smell it. It's definitely pungent. It's definitely real fresh. But underneath that, crushed pineapple. Sweet crushed pineapple, or just like a fresh, over-ripened pineapple. But it has that like dull crushed pineapple kind of nose. There is like this really almost slightly tart but intense passion fruit. There's a nice stone fruit kick, like a mango, apricot, peach. Everything here is like ripened to over-ripened, though. It has that sweet kind of fruity aroma. But there is a big herbaceous kind of quality to this. Not dank, it's more herbaceous. Like almost like a basil or a thyme in the nose. Maybe a little bit of like that doughy, bready kind of malt character that I sometimes get with Hop Butcher. And a lot of times I say, for the yeast, this is a ongoing discussion that I have with some other beer tubers and some friends, where like a lot of times when the yeast character, some people will pick out like bubblegum, like Treehouse is known for that. Others will pick out cotton candy, and sometimes Hop Butcher's yeast have produced cotton candy and they'll actually put it on the tasting notes. For me, I always get like a vanilla kind of confectionery kind of like, just cream sensation. That's what I'm getting here. So it's almost giving me like a pineapple creamsicle or like a passion fruit creamsicle. This smells awesome despite the hopper. I do think it's going to be a bit too fresh on the palate. We will see. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Hop Butcher. I need a second. I forget how fucking amazing Hop Butcher mouthfeels are from their They're 7.5% double IPAs. Like, this is upper echelon, upper fucking echelon mouthfeel from Hop Butcher. It is, we'll talk about it in a moment, but it is amazing. Body at 7.5%. It's like higher side of medium, lower side of full. This is big. This drinks like a triple IPA. If you told me this was 9.5%, 10%, I'd be like, yeah, no, and the body and mouthfeel, it's super like, you know, viscous for, you know, what it is. And the mouthfeel is incredible, but it's 7.5%. So the body, higher side of medium, lower side of full. Definitely has viscosity there that I don't usually associate with 7.5% beers, but some Hop Butcher beers are like that. The mouthfeel is upper echelon. It's top tier. It's, you know, bring in the fides, bring in the brew host, bring in, I haven't had any Troon. I've had like one Troon beer many years ago, but I haven't had one on the channel. Bring in all of like the tree houses and all the crazy mouthfeels everyone talks about. This is right there with them for me personally. Like, the mouthfeel is fucking spectacular. It has a mild to moderate carbonation, more approaching mild. So it's soft, it's really smooth, and it's just incredibly creamy on the palate. Like, this is what I want. If I'm drinking a super haze, milky kind of looking double IPA that's, you know, in this style, that's the kind of mouthfeel I want. However, as intense as the nose was, the taste is a little bit muddled in comparison. So right up front, I get that bready, doughy thing, dives underneath the palate. It's from the malt. So that's nice because, you know, let you know it's a little bit lower than ABV. And there's only, you know, I don't get a bunch of malt characteristics typically nowadays in like double IPAs. This being 7.5 and kind of skirting the lines, I do get a little bit of it. After that, though, there is citrus, which I wasn't getting in the nose. Sweet OJ, tangerine, tangelo in that realm. After that, though, it's a beautiful mixture of a juicy, sweet, creamy pineapple. I wouldn't necessarily say crushed pineapple like I was saying in the nose with the Dole. And the passion fruit is also juicy, but also like a little bit tart, but very intense. I'd say the most intense part of the taste is a passion fruit. But I do get pineapple, I do get passion fruit, and a little bit of citrus. The hop burn is not here in the taste. This smell, like I've reviewed over 2,000 beers. A lot of the beers are hazies and New England styles. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of reviews if you go through the archives where I say, you know, this is going to have hop burn, and more often than not, it does. Like, you know, it's in my throat, it's burning my throat. I'm like, oh, I wish I would have waited a month for that, so on and so forth. This nose screamed to me like, yes, it's 2 weeks old. It's going to have hop burn. It's going to be very green. And it's just a touch green, like very minute, like barely noticeable, which is surprising to me because I did not think that was going to be the case. I'm tearing this beer up. I'm pouring the rest in because I am going to probably hammer this out in a good 10, 15 minutes after I turn off the camera. Is this the best like double IPA I've had from Hop Butcher? No, but here's the thing, and I forgot to mention at the beginning, this is their OG hazy double IPA. I think they said they first brewed this in 2016. This hasn't come back, I think, in a couple of years. And this is a great beer. It's a great New England style double IPA that's galaxy laden. And it's not too green right now for me, which is great at 2 weeks old. While it might not be as pungent with the pineapple as I would like, the passion fruit's there, and the fucking body and mouthfeel. This is one of those beers from Hop, which I haven't said this in a while, that I would drink this for the body and mouthfeel alone. I swear, I would. I wish there was a little bit more of like an herbaceousness on the finish. It's slight. It's kind of mixing in with that green quality that's, you know, the hop burn-esque kind of feel. It finishes with a nice dryness though. Almost no bitterness to speak of, very mild, but it does have like a somewhat full-on dry finish. This is definitely lean sweeter. So, you know, I'm not somebody who loves New England or hazy IPAs and hazy double IPAs that don't have some kind of, you know, dryness or bitterness to balance it out. Like nowadays, if you ask me what is my perfect like hop forward or like IPA, double IPA, triple IPA, I want a lot of the characteristics to be that fruity kind of thing you get from a New England style. I want the body and mouthfeel to be like this, but I want to have a firm bitterness or like a full-on dry feeling. I need it to be balanced. I prefer the bitterness. And that's where a lot of these West Coast hop forward beers, the new school West Coast hop forward beers, where you get all that fruitiness and whatnot, I really like those because it usually has a firm bitterness. I would love to see this have firm bitterness, and this would be like one of the best hazies I've had in a hot minute. 7.5%, a little bit of warming in the chest. not too much. I'll go one more sip. I'm kind of in between a couple ratings. This isn't as good as like some of the beers I had from them. I forget what's behind me on Pertinent Wall bottles and cans. Yeah, the 2 grids, right, from them. Double grid is probably, if not my favorite double IPA from them, it's in like the top 3. And this isn't as good as that. But it's still pretty fucking good. So, Galaxy Bowl. From other half. I said from other half. Hey, it's not a bad brewery to be confused with. From Hop Butcher. I'm going to give this a straight 4.5 out of 5. That's where I'm going to go with this one. I think it's really well made. It's really delicious. And the body and mouthfeel are outstanding. I just want more intensity from the flavors, and I need some kind of bitterness or maybe like a more of a full-on dry feeling. And this would probably get into the low 4.75 range for me. But as is, I'm really happy I was able to try it. So thanks to Hop Butcher for sending this one out. Really cool. And now I'm looking at the tasting notes, and I think I fucking nailed it for the most part. Yeah, so let's read the tasting notes. Ripe peach. I don't really say peach too much. If it said like ripe stone fruit or just, like something stone fruit, I'd be, more in the wheelhouse. Sweet pineapple. I definitely said that. Juicy passion fruit. I definitely said that. So 2 for 3. I'll take it all day. And like I said, the Dan Jetsa artwork, pretty fantastic. I might keep this and put it behind me on the Pertinent Wall bottles and cans if I decide to take down the grid, the 2 grid beers at some point later this year. So anyway, price point availability, it's different now that, Hop Butcher gets distro. I think in the Chicago area and probably from their brewery, you're talking like $15 to $16 a 4-pack, which all day, every day. If it makes it here in, say, Buffalo, probably be like $20 to $22 4-pack, which is fine. 4.5 out of 5, I would easily pay $5 to $5.50 for a can of that all day, every day. And availability, it's Hop Butcher. If you're in Chicago, you can get their stuff relatively easily. If you're not, Tavour sometimes gets their stuff. There's some other websites that get their stuff. They get distro to a lot of different places. I don't really know their distro from like, where do they distro to this state and that state? I don't know. I just know here in Buffalo, every 4 to 6 weeks, we get a couple of their beers. Outside of that, I have no idea. So if you really want Hop Butcher stuff, you can find it. It's not really hard to trade for. While Hop Butcher does have some hype, it's not like, the brew hosts and Troons of the world where you got to pay secondary crazy prices or have some kind of whales to trade. No, like their stuff is really good though and very comparative. Or comparatively speaking, very good to those aforementioned breweries. Like I said, like the mouthfeel of this beer is fucking upper echelon. This is like the 1% of in the top 1% of fucking hazy beers in terms of the body and the mouthfeel. It's fucking spectacular. But the taste was a little bit of letdown from the nose, but overall, fantastic beer. If you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. I can't wait to get into the other 5 beers. They sent a Golden Ale, which was cool, a cold double IPA, which is pretty sweet, a triple IPA, and then just a regular old double IPA kind of like this. So I can't wait to get into it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. Huge thanks to Hop Butcher, 7.5%. I think I already said you really can't tell outside a little warming in the chest, but is what it is. To the next one. Cheers.